if there is, then you're not alone. There's, according to a survey from the Research Institute for Cooking and Kitchen Intelligence, actually 80% of people think that their home could use some updating, particularly in their kitchen. And this survey also showed that 2 out of 3 people would rather renovate their house than move. And as I mentioned, I just moved, so I would agree. With this Annie Sloan chalk paint, I have actually painted a number of things. I painted 31 kitchen cabinets, a couple dressers, a bunch of end tables, just to name a few. And this is just to give you an idea, this home improvement, do-it-yourself, I'm not alone, because this industry is a $3 billion industry. In the past 10 years, it's actually doubled in revenue. And to give you, again, a better idea, Etsy is something that came about in 2005, and they already have over 100,000 do-it-yourself designers, many of which sell this furniture, like transformed furniture, like Annie Sloan chalk paint. To give you some background about Annie Sloan herself, she's a pretty credible person. She kind of has a cult following. She has 24 books, and out of these 24 books, she's sold over 2 million copies. So today, I'm going to kind of give you some information on Annie Sloan chalk paint, and then I'm going to go over 3 techniques that you can paint while using this paint. The first being wax, the second being lime wash, and the final being sandpaper. So just some general information. Annie Sloan chalk paint comes from the UK, and it is kind of a specialty paint. So it can't be found in your traditional home improvement stores such as Lowe's or Home Depot. So it can be found online, and there are some US retailers, but they're more like mom and pop kind of specialty shops. For example, to give you an idea, there's 6 in New Jersey. So it can be bought storefront too at these retail locations. It costs about $40 per quart. It only comes in quarts, and this quart can cover about 140 to 150 square feet. It's also a water-based paint, so you can add water to it and stretch this quart to make it cover that much of square footage. Some prep. Normally, when you're redoing and painting furniture, you have to do some prep. You have to either strip, prime, or sand. With Annie Sloan, you can kind of just start painting, and it also adheres to any surface: wood, concrete, brick, plastic. It sticks to all of them. The only kind of prep that you could do is turn the can upside down for 20 minutes before you start painting, and that would act as a stirring agent. Other facts about Annie Sloan: it comes in about 30 colors, has a very fast drying time, it dries in about 20 minutes, and it leaves no brush strokes, so they advise to apply it in all directions when you are painting. For my interview, I interviewed Patty Seaman. She's actually one of the first 3 retailers in the U.S. that sold Annie Sloan chalk paint, and Annie Sloan chalk paint has been around for 20 years, so she's a pretty experienced person. When I asked her to tell me a couple of things about Annie Sloan chalk paint, she said that it's very user-friendly. It's very hard to mess up using this paint. She likes it because it only requires water cleanup as opposed to oil-based paint. It's eco-friendly, it's not bad for the environment, and has very low odor. So the first step that I was telling you that I'm going to go over when you're using this painted technique is waxing. There's 2 kinds of wax that you would apply after you would paint a piece of furniture. So this is a before and after picture. You would apply clear wax all over the product, the piece of furniture that you're painting, and you would think of it, when I talked to Patty, she said you think of it as if you're applying lotion to your skin. So you don't want to dunk it on, you kind of want to apply it, moisturize it in, rub it in so the furniture absorbs it, and then you would take a towel and wipe any excess off. The dark wax, as opposed to the clear wax, should not be applied all over because it will change the pigment of the furniture. And it should just give kind of a patina vintage look, so it should only be applied in certain areas that you want to give a distressed look. This can be reversed if you do mess it up. You can apply the clear wax over it, and this will kind of pull up the dark wax. The second technique is called lime washing, and this is where you would mix water with the paint. So diluting the paint will kind of give you a see-through texture, so you can either do it right over the wood, and you would be able to see the grain of the wood through the paint, or you can do it with 2 colors, 2 coats with both colors, and paint your furniture 2 coats as you would normally. You would apply the clear wax, let it absorb for 20 minutes, and then you could take sandpaper, and you can see on the right, I did it to certain crevices and kind of just stress the look. You can do it to knobs, any kind of imperfections that are in the paint. And then the wood will kind of pop through, or the color of the paint will pop through that's underneath. Just to recap, the majority of people today, there's something that they would like to update to their home. One of the ways they can do this cheaply is with Annie Sloan chalk paint. And we went over 3 techniques that you can use while painting with Annie Sloan chalk paint. Wax, which is the clear and dark wax. Line wash, which is when you add water to the paint. And sandpaper, which is where you distress using a fine grained sandpaper. So hopefully this